Okay, folks, we said we would do another video about animations versus actors. And I thought no better place to film that video than right here at Transworld, where the setup is going on as we speak. And there's a lot of animation companies here. I don't know how many, but there's going to be at least 4 or 5, which is more than there was last year. So this is a good thing. And I wanted to address this topic as we come over here. And this is Fright Props, and they sell a lot of animatronic parts. And you'll see that they have this really cool booth over here where they actually show you how to make animatronics. And that is really cool. So you can kind of see the behind the scenes of how the animations are made. You see, you can get right up in here and you can see how these animations work. And I'll see on this side, they show you what the animation looks like in the haunt, like, you know, what the customers see. And then this is what it looks like on the behind the scenes. And then if you look over here, you see the finished product and what it looks like without the latex and the cloth and everything else. Same thing here. You see the behind the scenes and you see what it looks like. And then you see that snake mechanism back there, and then you see another one there. Okay, and so this is a really good booth, and Fright Prop sells a lot of animation parts. And I think it's really awesome that they are doing a booth like this, so you can kind of sort of get the gist of how animatronics work. Now, I'm assuming that most haunts have animations, and you know all about them, and you know who makes them and builds them, and so on and so forth. But we're going to talk about whether or not you should get rid of actors, or if you could reduce actors for animatronics. And is that a good idea? Well, we're going to talk about that. And before we do, I'm going to go over here to my buddy Greg Allen's booth, which is right over here. And we're going to walk down this little strip here, and you're going to see Greg's animations. He's got a company called Killer Props, and he is from Missouri. And he's making animations, and you can see him here. I got to squeak through. And you can see he has a whole variety of animations, electric chairs, animations that pop out of the ground. And we're going to be making videos of all this stuff. And you can tune in right here to the Hauntworld channel, and you can see all these animations work and operate, and so on and so forth. Now, here's another animation company over here. This is called Fright Props. It's called Poison Props, owned by Fright Props. And you can see they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it's like 14, 15 crates of animatronics. And so that's kind of sort of what's going on. There's a lot of animations here. And this company over here is called Scare Factory. Now, there is another big animation company called Unit 70. And they don't typically come to the show, but you can look them up at unit70.com. They sell some really amazing animations. And Scare Factory, as you can see here, has a lot of big animatronics. A lot of really tall ones for outdoor hay rides. Now, they also have scary ones. You can go to their website and learn all about it. Now, before we talk about this subject, there's only a handful of tickets left for the Darkness Haunted House tour, okay? For the behind the scenes tour, there's like 35 tickets or something left, okay? And that's Thursday night at the Darkness. And that is Thursday night right here at the Transworld Show. And by the way, if you're watching this video after the Transworld Show's over, there could be another Darkness Haunt tour. It would still be the same website, darkness.fearticket.com. And if you want to come to the Haunted House Trade Show, it's going to be the same no matter what, haashow.com. And it's right here in St. Louis. It's usually right at the beginning of March, somewhere in there. And all the haunted house props and animations you could ever want to see will be here. Okay, and follow our channel because we'll be showing you all those videos. But the Darkness Haunted House tour, Thursday is behind the scenes tour. Friday is over at the Lemp Brewery. That event actually sold out, and we added 50 more tickets to a new section. So just so no one gets mad at me, we're not piling more people into another hour. We added another half hour, and we only added 50 tickets to that. So I've been walking like for a long time. So I'm gonna sit down here. I'm getting super old. Now, Saturday, and then the Limp only has 40 tickets left. And then we're not adding any more behind the scenes, and we're not adding any more darkness because we already have that extended out to 9:30. So the darkness has about 95 tickets left, something like that. Okay. So get your tickets now and make sure you come to the Haunted House Show, HAAshow.com. Now, I know there's going to be other animation companies, but they're not here, and they're going to be further down, or they might be setting up tomorrow. On this channel, we will go find those companies and film them and highlight them for you. So now, there's a misconception in the haunted house industry that haunted houses want to replace actors with animatronics. This is false. No good operator would want to replace actors with animatronics. However, if you are in a tourist type of haunt, then that might be the way to go. Animatronics rather than actors, okay? You get a much lower price point per ticket, okay? And more sporadic crowds, whereas a professional haunted house that operates only in the month of October or a little bit here and there on either side, they rely heavily on the fall season, the Halloween season, all the publicity worldwide, I mean, well, nationwide, well, really worldwide too, for October being when you go get spooked and scared, or go carve pumpkins and go trick-or-treating and go to parties. So, should haunted houses replace their actors with animations? The answer to that question is really simple. The answer is no, you should not. The problem that haunted houses have since COVID, really, is that it's hard to get actors. And I'll explain why it's hard to get actors. Because of COVID and inflation, thank you, Joe Biden. And I'm not trying to get political, but let's face it, when you're literally spending all this money like it's going out of style, and you're spending all of this money on giving student loan money back and giving people money for nothing, basically, across the board, there's been an insane amount of inflation. So right now, people aren't buying things they don't need unless it's a good deal. I don't think the country's in a full-blown recession, but people have pulled back on buying luxury items. They did all that during COVID. But what's happened because of COVID is that nobody wanted to work. And you know one of the reasons why a lot of teenagers don't want to work? Because they're all trying to be influencers. Everybody has a dream now. Oh, I'm going to be a TikToker. I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to be famous on Instagram. And they've dedicated their whole time to creating videos. And a lot of people have been taken out of the market. There's also a lot of people that have been living with mom and dad a lot longer than, is the norm. And they don't feel the urgency to work. But the truth of the matter is, on top of that, you've literally got fast food restaurants paying $18, $17. Jobs that used to pay $12 now pay $20. People don't want to give those jobs up as easily as they would in the past. In other words, a guy that works at McDonald's, I could always get another job at McDonald's. I want to do Halloween stuff because it's more fun. But right now, they might not want to give up. I'm not just talking about McDonald's. They could be working anywhere, and they were making 20, now they're making 30. So they have to stay more dedicated to their job, and they want to take off less to go work at a haunted house. That's what I think is the real problem with haunted houses not being able to get more actors. It's that the jobs they had previous or the jobs they have now are paying them a lot more. And fast food jobs used to be just kind of like walking around money, and now you could actually make you know, a decent little chunk of change, you know, working at fast food or working in convenience stores or working in department stores or doing those kinds of jobs typically that teenagers do, or working at a car wash or whatever. They're paying a lot more. And they have literally stolen, in my opinion, a lot of the people that would have spent more time working in a haunted house. So today, the haunted house owner has no choice but to add more animatronics. That's my opinion. That's what I think is the occurrence. The darkness, would we like to have 65 actors? We would. Some nights we only have 40. So anybody that runs a haunted house knows one thing. You can never count on when somebody's going to show up and when they're not going to show up. So knowing that, you have to build your haunted house in a way like if you were in a tourist town and you're gonna, like, a lot of tourist haunts rely on like 3 actors, okay? How do they do that? That's a good question. Because you see, I've built those haunted houses. Well, what you do is you do what we've done at the darkness, and you create what we call scare boxes, where these little boxes, an actor can literally dive into 3 different sections of a maze very easily. So in other words, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna kind of show you, and this is very crude. We're gonna come over here. I'm gonna just kind of pretend like this is the maze, right? And they come in here, and there could be a scare box right here, and the customers walk by it, and that actor can hit them like this. But then this could go kind of like this, and then it kind of comes back to the same scare box, and the actor can hit them again. And then it could peel off, go around the scene, and come back again, and the actor can get them, and it can come down this hallway and back up. So technically, that actor, you see, can hit those people multiple times. So you can also have other scare boxes all over the place. So they would encounter, say, 2, 3 different actors before they ever come back to the first one again. And that is the point of a scare box. And so if you create these all through your maze, you actually could give the impression that you have a lot more actors than you really do. And, you know, actors typically I've never met an actor that didn't want to roam. And so when you create scare boxes like this, you technically create a way for them to roam but stay in that area. And so this is very important, that you have to create ways for you to rely on, let's say, 40 actors, but hope for 60. And you also have to go into your haunted house and figure out which scenes are the most important. And those are the ones that get, you know, stocked first. And then you got luxury scenes, like, well, if we have somebody, we'll put somebody here. But where animations come in because they also do things that actors can do. Jump out really quickly, or loud, sudden bangs, or one of my favorites are the eye candy animation. They just kind of move around, and they're just kind of cool. Because when you go to a haunted house, you want to see cool stuff. Now, we're over here at Frankenlab, which is a buddy of ours, and all of his animations are designed for quick, loud bangs. So when you have an animation popping off in this barrel, of course it's going to make a loud explosion type of sound, right? And that's what most of his animations are geared for, is a quick, loud explosion. And there's another buddy of mine that is here at the show, and his company is called Hallucination Creations. And Hallucination Creations makes similar products. Things that'll bang on the wall, things that'll, you know, make noise, things that'll pop, things that'll go boom, things that just goes, so it's like an actor, animatronics that mimic actors. Now, there's this company right here, Studio Effect Tech, and they make, as you can see, they're trying to sort of get their booth set up here, and they make flying rigs and different things that actors can get in. And so, like, what that is like, you know, the actor will be able to jump off and be able to do kind of acrobatic things in your haunt. And I'll tell you, they're not super scary. They're wow, that is really cool. And I think it's really important today that whenever a haunted house, a complete haunted house, we're talking about a haunted house that is really covering all the bases. It's like you have bases loaded and you hit a home run, okay? That's when you have the best actors, and you don't have to have as many as you had in the past. If you rig your haunted house up to where the actors can get to more sections of the haunt. Okay, like I'll tell you, in a hayride, let me come over here and draw you a picture again. I know this sounds really weird and crude, but let's say this whole thing is your hayride. Well, if the wagon comes this way and it comes around like this, okay, and it doubles back, an actor could be here and he could work this scene. Hay wagons don't come that often, but then he could just turn around and that wagon kind of goes all the way out there and it comes back around this way. That same actor can get this wagon again, he can get this wagon, rather than kind of just standing around and doing nothing. So what I am saying is that you can design things so actors can stay busier. That's the point, stay busier. The Darkness used to operate with about 80 actors. Now it operates with an average of 45. The ratings and reviews are better with 45 than when we had 80. But one of the things that we did is we added a lot more animatronics. And you know what we added? We added a lot of air cannons. We added a lot of animations that make quick, sudden motions. Like bam, like really quickly. We added sound animatronics. CGIs that immediately change upon walking past it. Or CGIs that it triggers, and then there's also an air cannon to go with it. Fog cannons. All these things supplement your actors. And when you talk about these big animations like, you know, Scare Factory's making or Unit 70's making, yes, we understand like an animation like that isn't necessarily, but that's almost like having a character actor. You know, in other words, an actor that does a skit. Like, good evening, you know, and he just says something, he's got some skit, okay? These big wow factor animatronics are like an actor that plays a role, because you can literally go in there and reprogram them to say what you want them to say. Does this make sense? As we go by their booth, I know that they actually have one of their animations can be programmed to greet people. They can be animatronics that tell you, like, you know, it's like a character. So instead of paying an actor to sit in there and talk about like the pre-show, like, you have all, well, you know, into the darkness, da 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 da. Make sure you don't touch anyone and don't, you know, whatever. You could actually have an animatronic do that. Do you see these animations from? These are animations on these hands, and you can program those to talk. See the skull over there? That's an animation that talks, and you can program that to talk to your guests. That replaces an actor. A sudden air cannon replaces an actor. You see this animation over here where the feet kick and all that? That's a quick, loud animation. You walk past it, it goes off. There's also, I love these animations from Poison Props. Yeah, and you walk past them and the coffin just starts banging, okay? You pay actors to do that, okay? But you can also do it animated. It is making up for actors. But it's not because you want to replace actors. This is for those nights when you're counting on 60 and you only get 40, you're okay. You're okay. But I can tell you right now, you don't want to buy animatronics to replace actors. You still want to get and hire the best actors you possibly can, because they really do make the show. But those animatronics, especially if you have a lot of them, they fill in all the gaps. So that is what I wanted to talk about, animations versus actors. It's not a competition. They work hand in hand. And now one thing I will tell you as a tip, don't put your animations, your sensors in an area where the actor is going to keep going past it. You don't want these animations going off for no reason. You want them to go off because the customer set it off. So place them strategically where you know you're not going to have an actor. Doesn't that make sense? So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And right here we're at Gorgalore's booth. And that looks like an animatronic, but I don't know. We'll find out. Looks like one, but I don't know. And you know, and Gorgalore has these puppets and stuff. And they're cool, but they require an actor. So it's not something when you don't have a lot of staff, it's one of the last things we would staff. But I will tell you that I have a puppet from Gordelore, and I still have it in my haunt, and I love it. And it's fantastic. But I'm not going to load my haunted house up with those anymore because it's just too hard to get staff these days. So anyway, with all that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We can't wait until the show happens, but we can't wait till it's over too, because we're going to start traveling a little bit and go and visiting some really cool places. And we really look forward to that. And you can come over here and see Scare Factory's booth, and it is fantastic. There's no doubt about it. And these are wow factor animatronics. They are clear-cut wow factor. There's no two ways about it. And there's a lot of cool animations here. So come on out to the show. If not this year, it's haashow.com. Now, I just want to say this for the record. The reason why the show's in St. Louis is because St. Louis is in the center of the country. People drive here from all the way from Los Angeles, okay? It's not in Orlando. That would take you 4 days to make that drive. So, but if you live in Philadelphia or New York or Boston, you can get to St. Louis by driving in 15 hours, 16 hours, something like that. If you're in Orlando, all the way down in Orlando, you can get here by driving in about 15 or 16 hours. If you live in Kansas City, you can get here in 3 hours. If you're in Louisville, like 3 or 4 hours. Memphis, 3 or 4 hours. Dallas, I drove that in 8 hours. It's very convenient for driving. So come to the show. It's haashow.com and get your tickets to Darkness Haunted Haunt Tour. In my opinion, it's the #1 best educational experience that you can have. It's been totally renovated. And you know what we have a lot of? Animatronics. And the reason why I always tell people they should get the behind the scenes tour is because the behind the scenes tour, you can actually understand better how our actor scare boxes are set up and how our animatronics are set up and where they're set up. And one last thing I want to say. My buddy Tyler from the Scare Factor, he knows I like to give him crap. So I talked to him once on the phone, and he said something. We were talking about the darkness and about maybe actors, or maybe the haunt isn't set up the best for actors. So I gave him a tour and I showed him that was totally not true. And he's like, yeah, I see that. The darkness is set up perfectly for actors. They are all over the place. In fact, we're going to be making a video about flying rigs because we're installing one. There's nothing any haunt in the country has the darkness doesn't have, more or less, for actors. We love actors. We have silicone masks, we have makeup, we have the whole shebang. We have everything and we have enough spaces to have 60, 70 actors. But the problem is, they've been really hard to get since COVID. And that's why you buy animations, not to replace actors, but to supplement. And if you ask me, even if it was impossible to get actors, or no, let me change that. If it was easy to get actors, I would still want a lot of animatronics because it gives your show the over-the-top feel, the over-the-top look, more of a spectacle, more of a, I can't believe this attraction is here in my town. I would expect only to go to Hollywood to see this. I think that's really important. So anyway, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you here at the show. And keep following the channel because we will have a lot of videos. I'm not here at the show a lot, but when I do come, I'm just going to be making videos and checking out everything just like everybody else. I don't have a booth. I will be roaming around. Feel free to say hello. And right here from Franken Labs booth. Happy haunting.